story is actually good news, and it has to do with Republicans in Nevada trying to pass a fetal personhood initiative. So this is very similar to what the right wing tried to pass in Mississippi. However, that legislation was rejected, thankfully, right? So the reason why I bring this up is because there's a judge in Nevada who said no. This initiative is very misleading, and you need to tell voters the truth of what it actually entails if it does get passed. So I love that because the Republicans are very upset because now you got to call it what it is. You're basically trying to ban abortion. You're trying to ban birth control. You're trying to give constitutional rights to a zygote.
But like literally.
Literally.
So the judge says, all right, look, if you're going to do this, you have to inform the voters what they're actually voting on, right? Because they don't know. It's very misleading. You don't really clearly state it. So you need to clearly state that it might affect birth control, including the pill, it might affect in vitro fertilization, it might affect, and then she lists like 28 things that it affects. And then, of course, then the pro-life movement is in a rage. They're like, hush up! Why are you telling people what we're actually going to do? That's so unfair. And they said it reads like a list that our opponents would have put on the amendment. Yeah, but that's because that's the list of things that it actually does.
Keith Mason, who is part of Personhood USA, and of course, Personhood USA is the organization sponsoring this, says it only affects those procedures in as much as they kill an innocent person. It does not ban all those things at all. But you're lying. Like, that's just a bold-faced lie. And then he continues to say...
No, but the thing is, he would say, it's not a lie. It does affect those things in that they kill a person, in my opinion, right? So hence, you know, it does affect those things, but I'm going to tell you it doesn't unless it kills someone, but I think it kills someone every single time.
Yeah. The best point on this story is made by Steve-O when he says, well, what do you do about all of the eggs that don't embed in the uterus? All of the eggs that are fertilized but just don't make it.
No, perfect idea. It's just imprison all the women.
That's what we should do.
Yeah, because, you know, a great majority of the eggs that are fertilized within the woman's uterus do not attach to the uterine wall. I believe about 2/3. So anybody trying to get pregnant, guilty. Let's lock them up because of the harm that they have done to zygotes across this country.
Yeah. And you do see it all throughout the country. Again, I'm going to bring this up every single time we bring up abortion because no one else covers it. The Guardian, which is a publication in the UK, covered this, which is so depressing. We're prosecuting women for giving birth to stillborn babies. It's not their fault. They've done nothing wrong, but they're giving birth to stillborn babies. It happened in Mississippi. It happened in Indianapolis. You're seeing it all over the place.
Has anybody had a family member have a miscarriage? Like, you know, your aunt, I don't know, your brother-in-law's mom. You know how traumatic it is? And then you're going to go and try to prosecute these women like it's their fault? And it's literally happening, okay, in this country. It's sick, man. And that idiot should rename his group from Personhood USA to Zygote USA. Okay, everything about that guy is a total and utter lie.
I'm amused that they're very concerned about the constitutional rights of a zygote, but not very concerned about the constitutional rights of actual human beings.
Yeah, like, first of all, human being rights of women. Who cares? That's the whole point, is to take those rights away. But, like, you know, you have other constitutional rights, like, you know, illegal search and seizure. Right.
But who cares about that?
Due process. Like, hey, you know what? You get arrested, should you get a trial or a hearing? Who cares? Who cares? Where are the zygotes? Where are the zygotes? Did they attach to the uterine wall? Who cares? Who cares? Oh, no, that's it. Murder. 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 Everything's murder. What constitutional rights? Where does it talk about zygotes in the Constitution? Look, you know, I've said this on the show many times before. I'm against Roe versus Wade. I think that I love it as a law. I wish Congress would pass it as a law. I'm, in a lot of ways, conservative judicially. I don't think it's in the Constitution about the 3 trimesters, okay? But it's equally not in the Constitution that zygotes who don't attach to the uterine wall should be considered fetuses that were murdered, and hence women should be punished. Where are you seeing the zygote? Where?